Rappers and the police don't get along. Ever since NWA's F the Police, it's been an all-out war between hip-hop and the law enforcement. So when cops get a tip that a rapper might be doing something illegal, they usually go all out. Here's a look at a few famous rappers and hip-hop celebrities who have been raided by the police. Lil Wayne. Even though Wayne has claimed that a police officer saved his life when he shot himself in the chest at age 11, that doesn't mean he's immune to police harassment. On November 3rd, 2015, the rapper's mansion in Miami Beach was raided by law enforcement. The cops had what is called a levy warrant that is used to seize property due to unpaid debts. The rapper had been ordered to pay $2 million to Signature Group, a jet leasing company, in a civil lawsuit and failed to pay on time. This was right around the time that Wayne was in the middle of his contract dispute with Cash Money. That same year, he sued his label for $51 million, claiming that they had withheld royalties and violated the terms of his contract. After the raid, the rapper took to social media to vent his frustration, saying that it's days like today that make me question everything, even myself, but I guess this is the thanks I get. Sometimes it's tough to be tough and even tougher to be me. It took some time, but Wayne eventually got his legal situation under control and he's back to making music with hot young artists like Polo G and Roddy Ricch. But this next rapper wasn't so fortunate and ended up doing 7 years in prison after a raid at a popular studio in New York. Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda is a modern Brooklyn drill legend despite having only dropped a few hit singles and an EP. The rapper's music career was cut short after he and his crew, GS9, were arrested following a raid at Quad Studios in New York City. The police had been investigating the crew for a long time, and on December 18, 2014, the rapper and many of his friends were arrested at the studio after police uncovered 21 guns, as well as crack and weed. Police tried to paint Bobby as the ringleader of the gang who organized violent attacks on their ops. He eventually pled guilty to 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of weapons possession and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. What earned him the respect of fans across the world was that he could have gotten a lighter sentence because he wasn't accused of the more serious crimes, but it would have meant that his homies would have gotten more time. So like a real G, he took the longer sentence to make sure his people were straight. He ended up serving the full 7 years and was released on February 23rd, 2021. His release was celebrated by hip-hop fans everywhere. Since he got locked up, the Brooklyn drill sound that he started has exploded thanks to artists like Pop Smoke and 5EO Foreign. Bobby has yet to drop any music since being released, and it's possible that the world may never get another Bobby Shmurda track. But even if Bobby never raps again, he's still a legend for the contributions he's made to the game and sticking to the street code, even if it meant more jail time. But if you thought that was crazy, this next producer had his Manhattan offices raided after being accused of laundering money for a notorious drug lord. Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti is a famous record executive from Hollis, Queens, known as the CEO and co-founder of Murder Inc. Murder Inc. managed artists like Ashanti, Bobby Brown, and Ja Rule. Irv has also produced records for everyone from Jennifer Lopez to Kanye West. But just at the height of his success, Irv's company was the subject of an NYPD investigation that eventually led to the label's downfall. On January 23, 2003, the Murder Inc. offices were raided by a team of agents from the FBI. The feds brought in drug-sniffing dogs to uncover anything incriminating they can find and eventually confiscated tons of documents and the computers in the office. No arrests were made directly after the raid, but Irv and his brother Chris eventually had to stand trial for allegedly laundering over $1 million of drug profits for Kenneth Supreme McGriff. McGriff was a well-known drug lord in New York City who had been running the streets of Jamaica, Queens since the 1980s. McGriff is allegedly the one who ordered the hit on 50 Cent when he was shot 8 times early on in his career. 50 raps about Supreme on the track Ghetto Quran, which the drug lord wasn't happy about, and the rest is rap history. Supreme was eventually found guilty of murder, conspiracy, and drug trafficking, but Irv and his brother would be acquitted of all charges, making him one of the few celebrities in hip-hop to beat a Fed case, which has around a 90% conviction rate. But if you thought that was wild, this next rapper just happened to be staying with one of his artists when the police raided the home over suspicion of drug, gun, and prostitution charges. Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane is now known as a rap legend and music mogul who has shined the spotlight on a lot of talented, up-and-coming artists. But before going to prison in 2013 and transforming his life and image, Gucci was one of the wildest characters in rap and was constantly getting into trouble with the law. There was even a time Gucci was arrested during a police raid of another rapper's home. On December 16, 2010, police raided the home of Waka Flocka, one of the first artists that Gucci took under his wing and signed in 1017. Gucci was staying with Waka and his mother Deb, who managed him at the time. The police raided the home and found a small amount of marijuana. Gucci was arrested because he was the only one home, but was later released and not charged with anything. Waka's mother claimed that the police raided the home looking for evidence that Waka was gang affiliated. They didn't find what they were after and arrested Gucci to justify the raid. This was right around the time that Gucci and Waka were starting to beef. Gucci did a radio interview with Richmond, Virginia's iPower 92.1 earlier that same year where he walked out mid-show after being asked a question about his feud with Waka. Check out our previous videos on rappers mad at interviewers for more info on this incident. Although Gucci and Waka never fully reunited, they have both publicly announced that there is no bad blood between them anymore and they just prefer to live their own lives. So while the world may never get to hear of Ferrari Boys 2, at least the two artists have put the past behind them. But if you thought that was crazy, this next rapper was arrested on felony drug charges after police raided a smoke shop where he and some friends were hosting a private party. Paul Wall. Paul Wall is a Houston rap legend known for his affiliation with Swishahouse Records and tracks like Sittin' Sideways and Grills. Like most Houston artists, Paul Wall's taste for lean is well known, but the rapper actually ended up catching a felony drug charge for weed back in 2016. On December 3rd, 2016, Paul Wall, along with 10 other people, including fellow Houston rapper Baby Bash, were arrested after the police raided the Paradise Smoke Shop in Houston. The group was hosting a private party and toy drive for underprivileged kids. The rapper and the other men present were charged with manufacturing and delivering THC, the main compound found in weed. He was released on a $20,000 bond, but faced felony drug charges if convicted of the crime. But lucky for Paul Wall and Baby Bash, the grand jury declined to indict the rappers and all charges were dropped. It was clearly a reach for the cops to claim that the rappers were part of some organized drug network when all they were really doing was hosting a smokeout. Luckily, the grand jury saw what was going on and declined to even hear the case so the rappers could get back to helping out the community. But this next rapper wasn't so lucky. His house was raided after an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers revealed that he was threatening people online and was arrested on illegal gun charges. Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy is a rapper and internet personality known for his viral antics, but the internet can be a wild place, and sometimes, when a troll goes too far, there can be real-life consequences. Soulja Boy had to learn this lesson the hard way and got arrested for a probation violation after police found a gun in his home during a raid. The rapper was first arrested for weapons possession in 2014 after police pulled over a vehicle he was riding in and found a gun on him. Soulja claimed the gun wasn't his, and his manager even stated that a neighbor had left the gun in the car, but the court didn't buy it, and Soulja was sentenced to 2 years of probation. In 2016, Soulja found himself in the middle of a beef with Lil Yachty and the Migos. Soulja picked a fight with Lil Bo on Twitter over Instagram model India Love. Quavo stepped in and defended his label mate, which led to Soulja targeting the Migos instead. This led to Soulja dropping the diss track Beef and post a video to Instagram of himself holding a Draco and playing the song in the background that ended up going viral. Not long after, the police raided his home after an anonymous tip to the Crime Stoppers hotline revealed that Soulja was wilding out and threatening people online. The cops found the gun, and Soulja was found to be in violation of his probation. He pled guilty to felony gun possession and was sentenced to an additional 5 years of probation, plus 240 days of community service. As part of his plea agreement, he was even banned from threatening anyone else online with a weapon, even with a toy or prop gun. Soulja Boy is the king of viral internet antics, but it seems like this time he took it too far. No one really thinks of him as a real street rapper, so all the disses and gun toting came off as a little goofy. But it did give the internet some high quality entertainment for a few days and kept Soulja's name relevant, which is really what he was after anyway. This next rapper was a bit smoother and managed to get off without facing any charges, even though police raided his home and discovered drugs and illegal weapons. Young Thug. Despite his taste for women's fashion and wild behavior, Young Thug is really about that life. The rapper has had many run-ins with the law throughout his career, including a raid on his home back in 2015. The rapper was arrested in July 2015 after police raided his home in Sandy Springs, a suburb of Atlanta, and found felony amounts of weed and cocaine, as well as at least 3 illegal firearms. Not long before, Thug was also arrested by U.S. Marshals for threatening to kill a mall cop. Security at a Georgia mall had asked the rapper and his crew to leave, and on the way out, Thug told him he was going to come back and shoot one of them in the face. Around the same time, Thug was also found to have ties to the dude who shot up Lil Wayne's tour bus. Although he was never charged with the crime, a lawsuit filed by the bus driver revealed that the rapper called the shooter's phone 8 times that night, indicating that he may have been involved in the shooting as he was beefing with Wayne at the time. Check out our video on rappers almost caught lacking for more info on this incident. It's not clear why police decided to raid Young Thug's home, but the rapper was clearly on their radar. Thug was released on $10,000 bond and was eventually cleared of all charges. His lawyers were able to prove that police entered the home without a legal warrant, and therefore, everything they found could not be used as evidence. The court sided with the rapper, and all the charges were dropped except for the weed charge, which didn't carry a serious penalty. So Thug got pretty lucky that the cops did a sloppy job with raiding his home. Otherwise, he would have faced some time. But this next rapper wasn't so fortunate and is looking at doing serious time in federal prison after the cops raided a trap house where he was filming a video. NBA YoungBoy. NBA YoungBoy is one of the hottest young artists coming out of the South. But despite all his success, he's one of those rappers that just can't stay away from the streets. In September 2020, YoungBoy, along with 16 other men, were filming a music video in an abandoned house in Baton Rouge when neighbors called the cops. Police recovered 14 guns and $79,000 worth of cash. One of the weapons turned out to be stolen, and 2 had illegal stocks. Plus, the rapper was also hit with separate drug charges related to the incident. Being a convicted felon, YoungBoy is not allowed to be around weapons or hang out with other convicted felons, even if it is for the purpose of filming a music video. He was originally released on $75,000 bond, but in February of 2021, the FBI officially announced that they had opened an investigation into the entire NBA crew, and a warrant was issued for YoungBoy's arrest. After LAPD tried to pull him over for the warrant, the rapper tried to get away. first in a car and then on foot. He was eventually tracked by a K9 unit and is being held without bail until the trial. Check out our previous video on rappers who ran from the cops for more info on this police chase. If convicted, YoungBoy could spend a long time behind bars. Even though no one was actually harmed on the day of the video shoot, YoungBoy has a criminal history that includes charges relating to shootouts, domestic battery, kidnapping, and more. In the past, he's always managed to get by without facing any serious time, but this case is looking different. YoungBoy's lawyers maintain he's innocent, and authorities have no way to tie the guns and drugs found at the scene to the rapper. But Fed cases have a pretty high conviction rate, so it seems unlikely that they would take it to trial unless they already had solid evidence. This case is still ongoing, and more information will likely come to light as the trial progresses.